Nice. I'm about to be so fucking caffeinated. You're gonna get a really weird side of me today.
It's all good.
I made a big pop being like, all my guests are gonna want to drink coffee.
Right.
Only the first guy did. Only one other cup has been drank, so I'm just fucking jittery.
Yeah.
I got on a Peloton earlier, burnt it out of my system.
Nice.
Yeah, you ever do that nonsense?
I've never done a Peloton, no.
I'm impressed by the classes. I feel like most of the time when I think about a cycling class, I think about like a 70-year-old woman who's way too fit for her age really in my face, getting fucking heated. And that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
It's like a nice multitude of classes. The music selection is surprisingly good. So.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's key.
You're a basketball player, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
I was.
I
I will ask questions about that.
Okay.
Hoopers are always hoopers. Drew Freeland, what's going on, player?
What's up?
Do me a favor, pull that microphone up a little bit closer to you.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah, give that good little lift.
Okay.
Shibuya, there we go.
All right.
What's going on, player? Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I know you worked a full day. What do you do for a day gig?
I'm an engineer at Ethicon.
Okay.
It's like 7 minutes down the road, actually, which was pretty convenient.
Hell yeah. What kind of engineering?
Mechanical, but it's the branch of J&J that is medical devices. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's new problems every day. So.
Yeah. And is it like creative solutions to things, or is it more like highly technical, changing fractions?
It's highly technical, but there's some creativity, right? When you're trying to get things done quickly and effectively and compliantly, I mean, it leaves room for thinking creatively to get there and stuff like that. But much more technical than creative.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But is that a field where, you know, it seems like you live kind of a dual life here. You're pulling the Hannah Montana. You do your day gig and you come home and it's like, and I got songs in my heart and I got to get this kind of thing out.
Yeah.
So does it fuel you having a creative outlet in your life when you have to have such a regimented gig?
For sure. I think since I was a young kid, having a guitar to go back and just bang songs out on is my form of therapy.
Yeah.
You know, we all got our stuff. And
for sure.
For me, it's very therapeutic, and sometimes I write shit and I'm like, whoa, I did not know I was feeling that way. Good to know.
Isn't that really cool when you can be more honest through the song than you expected to be with yourself?
Yeah.
Sometimes I write things where I'm like, do I really mean that? Do I feel that way?
Right.
And it's like, it doesn't need to be 100% factual to be super honest.
Right.
And it's kind of ugly and glaring at times, but you do that kind of thing and you feel better once it's off your chest and in front of you, because now you can figure out your association with the thing.
Right.
Did you write before you started to learn songs, or did you pick up a guitar because of a certain artist and start to replicate?
So I got lessons for about 2-3 months when I was younger.
That's
me
it?
And my 2 little siblings. Well, so you know, life got really busy. We were playing like every sport. So I got to a point where we couldn't really do it much anymore. And my second oldest sister slapped down Love Story by Taylor Swift in front of me and was just like, go. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, so Taylor Swift was becoming popular and you could look up songs on Ultimate Guitar and get the lyrics. And I just kind of went from there. And music's a big part of my family. We would do music nights with a bunch of musicians, all different kinds. And
just like jam at the house?
And just jam.
Who else plays?
So my dad, he plays guitar and harmonica, and then I've got a phenomenal bluegrass musician who I grew up playing with, and his daughter, we'd go back and kick out a song in like a couple hours and come out and play it. And then I call him my Uncle Nelly. He was a guitarist for the Styx. For Styx, yeah. So
for the Styx.
For Styx. Oops, oh God, see, I'm already fucked up.
No, that's hilarious. That's
for Styx, yeah.
It's very southern of you. You're from Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Roanoke.
It's not really southern, but it kind of is southern. You know what I'm saying?
It's southern.
When we talk about that part of the country, that's where I really don't know what's going on geographically. I'm like, it's by like upstate New York, right? It's like,
no.
I don't know how that shit lines up. I don't look at maps that often.
Okay.
That's fucking wild, though. He played in Styx for how long?
I don't know how long, but years. He was a professional musician, and I mean, this man's he's awesome. He can sing, he can play guitar. He's just like the kindest, most humble soul. And he's awesome.
So it's at these family gatherings that you started writing?
No, I started writing a little bit like during when I was taking guitar, and it was like a colored pencil like that changed colors.
Yeah.
And it was a song that was like, I love my family loves, just like silly. And that was my first song. And then song.
How old are you when this happens?
Kindergarten, first grade.
No shit.
It was rough.
But still, I mean,
pictures on it.
You should take all your L's as a kid. You know,
Yeah.
you should try all this new stuff so that when it comes time to really implore your talents as an adult, you're not gun shy about it. You're not trying to figure this out for the first time. You're not nervous about the wheels falling off because you've been there before.
Right.
To teach a kid your imagination has a place through the song in kindergarten or first grade is such a blessing.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So when was the first time that you wrote a song that started to feel like, oh, that's part of me. That's really exemplifying who I am and what I'm doing here?
I think around high school is when I started to write songs that I thought had a little bit more body, kind of had lyrics more so that were like you grow with your songs, right? And that's what's special about songwriting. So I think I finally had some lyrics and some songs that I was really relating to. But I think it was really in college that I started to find more of my songwriting identity, I guess.
Yeah.
And I actually was lucky enough at Lafayette, they had a songwriting class. So I got to take that with like just randomly one semester. And I learned a lot. And it was only a semester, but you got to learn about all different types of songs, and he would basically give you a prompt and you'd go try to write a song, to fit in that prompt. And
yeah. And do you think the prompts is like the most beneficial part of that, of being given a task and executing on that task? Or like, what was like the first aha moment from, I've tried writing songs before, I've written songs before, and this changed things?
I think the prompts were helpful, and I think for me it was a good outlet to be like, okay, you got to go home and write a song because it's a homework assignment and you got to come in and present it. But I also think it was really useful to me to learn about different types of, how you can write a song, if that makes sense. So different types of music, whether it's a blues song or, something more country. There's all different types of songs and how they're written and the chord progressions and I guess the percussion too, right? It can change and it can evolve with a song. And so me kind of having to like get into one of those, genres of songs kind of helped me grow in music and learn more and get, I think, more of my identity figured out. I don't know if it makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. And I think like a lot of folks kind of go the route of, I learned a lot of cover songs, and from those songs I learned progressions and styles that I eventually derived into what I do myself, whether that's a 1-4-5 blues, just like basic format, like I do E, A, B, and I'm done, okay? And that's been the building block for so many great songs. And sometimes when we're being overly analytical, we're looking at progression, we're like, you use G, C, and D in too many songs. It's like, well, all of us do. I mean, it's like that's a guitar player's opening moments, and for some reason, when the muse strikes, you go to the path of least resistance, and that fits a lot of things. And it's not a problem until you call it a problem, and that's something worth evolving on and working at. And it's frustrating as hell, because oftentimes I look at a guitar, I'm like, played that, done that, pissed at that sucks. It's like you can be way too in your head about it.
Yeah.
I've been really going through a situation of like, because I've cut certain inebriants out of my life, I am feeling overly critical of my own work, and I'm having a hard time writing because I'm looking at my own stuff with a lot of like dissent for it. I'm like, I stop myself in motion because I don't like what I'm doing there. But there's something about being given the assignment and saying, you're going to write when you don't want to write. That helps to refine that muscle. So when you do feel inspiration strike, whether it's the worst breakup of your life or the best day or promotion, those emotions go straight through the funnel.
Yeah.
And how do you feel that? I've always felt that songs are a better landmark of where I was and what I was doing in life. For someone that's been writing for so long, do you feel like songs help you kind of get back in the mindset of a young Drew Freeland? This is me in grade school. When I play this song, I remember these days. I remember these things.
Yeah. I don't go back too often and play some of those songs, but I mean, just like with any song you hear on the radio, if it's special to you, it takes you to a place, right? Mm-hmm. That's what's so special about music, is it draws emotions out of you, and in your mind, it kind of plays a movie that you relate to, which is cool. But yeah, I would say it takes me to a place, and yeah, I don't go back that often and play those songs, but when I hear them, for sure.
Yeah. It's nice to find occasions that you're forced to play shit from your childhood, and you cringe through it, and it makes you fucking sick. But they serve a purpose in that reminder of who you were at that point in time. Yeah. But is everything that I've heard from you pretty contemporary stuff that you've been writing, things the last couple of years, or is this college, Drew? Or
a little bit of both. Some college, some contemporary. So just the past 5 years, about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel like songwriting has progressed for you since getting out of college, and it's become like this? It's almost part of your working life. Like you live a dual life now of, this is the material I play for cover gigs, but these are also my originals I kick in there. Do you do a nice mix of those too?
Yeah, I do.
And what are your primary songs of yours that you've been pulling out?
So from my EP that I just released, I play Mojito almost every gig.
Yeah.
Wandering, I mix in there.
I love the EP, by the way.
Thank you.
I listened to the whole thing as soon as you told me.
That's
I was
really
like,
sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. No, everyone should go listen to it. It's one of those moments where you're getting to hear someone finally getting to lay this out in front of you.
Yeah.
And how did you feel listening back to the songs for the first time, being totally separated from it? You're now objective towards them.
It was cool. I think for me, the EP was a big learning experience. It's my first time getting to hear my songs in a studio-ish quality, right?
You can't judge what it is, though. It's like, because everyone has that version of that. Some people start in the nicest studios with the worst songs, or the other way around. It's like, just to hear it play back in your car, to go on Spotify and see it there.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's eerie in a way.
Yeah.
You know, it's finally, you have an opportunity to make passive impact on people's lives. You live in their pocket. You're right there for them to reach for.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think overall it was just, I mean, it was my first time with a metronome, right? And I did not like it, but I'm more used to it now, and I practiced a lot, and I think hearing them back now, it's just special to me that they're out there.
Yeah.
And I'll just continue to grow with them and let them grow with me, and this EP is just me and a guitar. So, you know, the world's my oyster in terms of what's next and what I can bring, you know, to those songs. I hear a lot of harmonica, a lot of mandolin, so I'm just excited to build on it too.
For sure. Yeah. Well, it's also nice just to say, like, that's done. Moving on. On to the next. Like, some of these songs you've played for years. Some of them are the last ones to make it on there, and that's great because they feel fresh. But with all of it, like, at some point you got to call it a day and move on to the next thing with it, and that's super exciting.
Right, yeah.
Have there been any reactions to the EP that have really surprised you?
I think one surprise is Good Time Sinners. It was a song that I had just written when I was traveling back and forth. I travel a lot for work, so we have manufacturing in Juarez, Mexico.
Okay.
Not really a place you really want to vacation per se. But I actually don't mind going there at all. The people at the plant are awesome to work with. Anyways, I'm getting off the point.
I want the full tangent.
But I was traveling. I mean, I had traveled every single week in July at this point earlier in 2023, and I was on planes a lot, and I bought a Martin that could just travel with me.
Nice, like the slim little backpack?
Not even. It was a little bit bigger than that. So it's like a small body acoustic. But
cool.
It was, yeah. So it's not like the best sounding quality, but it got the job done. And I remember like writing that kind of throughout that journey over the summer. And like it's kind of about growing up, and I don't know. I'm on a plane and I came up with lyrics and I put them in my phone. Anyways, that song means a lot to me, but it's kind of cool because I think it's one of my, you know, more popular songs on the EP when I look back at, because you can look at the stats for it on, you know, Apple Music and Spotify. And that actually surprises me because, you know, it connects a lot with me, but I didn't see it as one that would connect a lot with other people, if that makes sense.
It's so nice for us to be able to have those metrics to know that, okay, this song did better than Mojito. It does better than the ones you play at the most.
Right.
I'm not saying that for sure, but
Right.
You get these indicators that something is more worthwhile than you expect it to be, and it's kind of it gets in your head a little bit, but it's a good reminder, like, the worst song that you write in your year deserves to see the light of day, because you are not a great judge of it, you know?
Right.
Like, you are strictly the funnel for this piece of inspiration. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be really interesting in retrospect to look back, and you'll remember shitty airports and out-tuned guitars and dealing with all these things through this song that otherwise are just kind of mundane memories, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, my brother had texted me, "This song's the shit." And I was like, "Oh, gee, thanks, Jake."
That's what I'm talking about. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it felt awesome, yeah.
Now, so your dad plays. Does your dad write?
I think he's written 1 or 2 songs.
That's it?
Yeah,
Soft.
Yeah. But I don't think he writes that often. He does a lot of covers and a lot of harmonica, so I really want him to play harmonica on my songs at some point. He's a great harmonica player. Mainly covers. And he, years and years ago, he had kind of set up a studio in his basement, like very, very, like, didn't really know what he was doing, and he recorded Christmas carols of me and all my siblings. And,
super cute.
Yeah, and then he and his buddies recorded a Crosby, Stills, and Nash cover. Yeah, so all sorts of fun stuff. So he's dabbled, but never anything, official in terms of original music, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting, once you break that wall down of, like, what it feels like to rock a cover versus what it feels like to play your song and have people lose it for it. Like the first time I heard Mojito, I'm like fucking floored about it. It's like it's cool when your songs have life in them to share with other people. And then you find yourself now competing with your heroes to soundtrack the lives of complete strangers or your best friends or your brother that digs the song. Do you think that through this experience of playing your own stuff, do you value that more than playing covers, or do you kind of feel like they're on the same plane?
I think it depends on the cover. Okay. I mean, I'm impartial to my own music. It makes me happy to write. It makes me happy to play it. But I think sometimes there's covers that you can connect with. Like, I love playing Angel from Montgomery. That's, like, one of my all-time, like, favorite songs to play, mainly because I grew up listening to my mom sing it, and then I kind of learned, okay, well, I can sing this too now that I'm doing gigs. So it has a special place with me because of the connection to her, but it's also a beautiful, beautiful song, and John Prine, just like amazingly written. So, I mean, I think it's both, but definitely originals are more special, I think. But
at some points, especially in recent years, I've been a little bit too prideful in trying to put my own stuff above certain covers, but, like, you can't deny that some songs just feel so good to play.
Yeah.
Certain things are just so resonant, and when you can play Angels from Montgomery for your mother who used to sing this to you, or songs that mean the world to people, there's always something gorgeous in that. Like playing first dances for people with songs I don't like. It's like, oh, you just changed everything about this shit for me, didn't you? And it's like you'll never forget those memories.
Yeah.
Have there been any artists that have really lit a fire for you in terms of your writing recently?
No, not necessarily. I do listen to a lot of, like, Stevie Nicks, a lot of Bonnie Raitt. I love Janis Joplin. I also love, like, Miley Cyrus.
Cool.
I think she's really talented.
She's a bad motherfucker.
She's a bad bitch.
Yeah. There's no fight on that.
Yeah,
it's like, and also I love the way that Miley in the era of her unfiltered artistry has been such a reminder as to why Dolly Parton is the shit.
Yes.
It's like for her to be
Dolly
your godmother.
Parton, another great songwriter, man.
Totally.
Like,
and she just came out with this rock album, and you're like, oh shit, Dolly. Like,
she's
good
amazing.
golly.
Good golly.
And she's on a different level, and you got to respect artists that don't settle on their catalog. Like, being a songwriter is a vocation.
Yeah.
You know, you write when you don't want to because you'll never know what's going to mean the world to somebody else that they couldn't put into those words. But you also wouldn't know the chapters of your life that you'd miss if you didn't put it on a page and at least try it in that kind of a way.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I'm still finding kind of my music identity, you know, in writing songs and stuff like that. But I absolutely agree that you might write a song that's a rock song. That's okay. That might not be your genre, but why not? Like, why not explore it? Why not do it all if you can? I mean,
especially now where you're not going to be on a country label. You're not going to be on a rock label. It's like it matters less and less what you are to the masses because we can put out things independently.
Right.
And it's also really weird the way that you think you're writing the most hard rock song that can never fit in your set, but because it comes from your dome and your mouth and your guitar playing, it still sounds like you.
Right.
You know, there's almost no getting away from it. It's like none of us are so diverse that we can defy what sounds like us. It just sounds like you now versus you then and what will be.
Right.
But it's complicated when something comes across and you're like, that really doesn't sound like me. You know, in the same way you were saying, like it just becomes really honest and personal and kind of odd. Since you put out the EP, are you trying to really write the next EP, or are you looking at those songs and saying who needs harmonica and drums and kind of redefining them?
I think a little bit of both. I had 2 songs particularly that I recorded, but I didn't want to do them an injustice of putting them on an all acoustic EP. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking the time to actually put some drums with it, put some electric guitar and record it, and I'm really excited for the way that's all gonna like shake out, because I think they merit that. I think it adds to them. I think it lets them build and hones in the message of what the song is trying to say.
Yeah.
So I guess a little bit of both. I kind of already hear a lot of stuff on the songs that I've written, but I just have books and books of stuff. So I think one of the things I'm doing right now is in songs that really mean a lot to me that I think, you know, deserve to be on an EP or an album type of setting, I'm going back through and looking at the lyrics. I'm looking at the chord progressions. I'm looking at the way I sing it to try to see what I can improve now that I know more than I did when I wrote them.
Absolutely.
I think all songs deserve another pass, right? Because you're ultimately trying to write a song for relatability. You know, part of it's relatability, and then part of it's, you know, something that means something to you.
Yeah.
So there's a balance of that, I think, in every song, and figuring out how to say what you're saying clearly, you know, so that people understand it, but also so that it still means something to you and how you're trying to say it.
Yeah. I had my buddy Ed on here the other day, and he said, like, every artist falls somewhere between, like, it's artistry versus consumerism. And it's like, where do you want to be in terms of how this hits other people? And I think you're spot on saying, like, everything deserves a second look. Sometimes you feel like you spelt it out so clearly and you have this beautiful scenery, and you miss such an important part of how we paint that picture, so that everything else now just kind of falls by the wayside. And it's interesting the way that each stanza kind of needs these indicators of why am I getting to this particular at the end.
Right.
Or, you know, like the small little earworms that you're going to try to put at the beginning of this need to have a rhyme and reason towards the end, or else people just don't necessarily get it.
Right.
So do you have a book of lyrics that are just like unfinished songs?
A few.
Okay. Everything handwritten?
Yeah.
And are you the type to like scribble and scratch and okay?
Oh yeah.
Pencil or pen?
Pen.
Make it for life. When you're getting out of this shit. You ever go through with whiteout and do the ultimate sin? No. Okay,
no,
cool.
no. Just once it's good, I type it up.
Okay, nice. I feel like it should almost go the opposite way. It's like, but then you backspace everything. Like my favorite thing when I'm writing on a computer is Command A, select all. Backspace, bitch. We are out of here. No,
we're done.
This sucks. Do you let people go through your book? Like, would you ever let Jonah go through and look at your lyrics like that?
No,
too personal.
Probably not. Yeah, it's very personal.
You're like, page 47 is strictly about you, and it wasn't a good day, honey.
Please do not read.
I got a lot of songs from my Emily where I'm like, honey, this is about you, but it's poorly phrased, so I'm gonna warn you in advance. It's not gonna sound that sweet. Like I got a whole category that I love bringing up on stage. It's called Dirty Shit I Wrote for My Wife. And
that's hilarious.
And it used to be Dirty Shit I Wrote for My Fiance, and I said that in front of her the other day. She goes, I'm your wife. And I was like, honey, I
Check
get it.
Yes,
ma'am. Playing, bitch. But the song is called Sweet Disease, and the chorus
I think I've heard you play it, actually.
It's a naughty one.
Yeah.
The lyrics of the chorus are, make me a slave to your amusement, abuse it please. And I'm like, honey, I mean that in the most lovingly dirty way. But everyone assumes this is not a nice song about you. She's like, I'm fine with it. You know, you do you. Thankfully, I've never had a partner that's dug too much into that stuff. Because if you have someone that hears a song about them and they squirm about it and they ask you things, it's like, now you're interrupting my process with your insecurity. Can I tell you I love you and then go write some shit that says I don't? Like, come on, that's the fun.
Right, because you've got to be able to write about different facets of your life and go back on it and dig into an emotion that might not necessarily be a happy one. And it's not necessarily indicative of the moment that you're in, you know, with another person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When that's really odd to play songs about other people in front of your person, good and bad, because it's like there's relatability in all of it.
Right.
You had a song, I believe, about Jonah I'm getting his name right.
Yeah, that's just Jonah.
I got nervous there for a second. I was like, am I getting my boy's name right? Because I would feel like a dickhead. You were playing something for him, and I walked behind him at the Muse, and I just see this boy just cheesing over there. And I'm like, oh, she got you, bro. And now I look for that because of that moment. I saw the same thing with my homie Tommy Lee. She was opening up the show that you came to.
Yeah.
Were you there for her set?
No, we didn't make it in time.
All good. It's on the internet somewhere.
Okay, cool.
But she has this new song that's about a man's. It's called Alice, and it has all these Alice in Wonderland kind of themes to it.
Cool.
It's a beautiful song, and my sister sent her a picture of her boyfriend just gooning, cheesing. It brings me to tears. It's so sweet. It's like those are such particular things that you can offer in a relationship as a songwriter, and sometimes they are way too telling and way too personal. But it is such a beautiful vulnerability to share with people. In that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever written a song that felt too personal about somebody where you're like, I'm going to keep that over here until they're gone? That was a super nervous laugh.
For sure. Like I said, sometimes you write songs and you don't know where they're taking you, and they take you somewhere and you're like, oh shit, I'm feeling this way. Woo! For sure. So, I mean, I even have songs that I've written about people that are still in my life that I'm like, I should probably change the lyrics so that it's not as direct, per se.
Yeah, it's not as obvious.
Right. But yeah, definitely.
I asked my buddy Jimmy about that same thing a couple episodes ago. He has a line in a song of smoking cigarettes with people I don't like.
Yes, I watched this. Yes,
and I was geeked out. I was like, Jimmy, how many people's feelings did you hurt? Like, did everyone stop smoking with you?
Right.
Turns out he stopped smoking, but it's like, dude, you say these kind of things, and any songwriter might look at that and question it. And I love the artistic integrity to say, fuck them.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll apologize later. It's like, that's such a great lesson in life, to spill it as viscerally as you can, because you never know who that line is going to be so right for them, understanding what they're feeling. Like, it might feel too poignant in your own life, but if you wanted to cuss them out, you would have shot them a text, not written a song. This is just because of the way the feelings have come out.
Right.
And it's such a weird thing, the way that it rears its ugly head and stares at you like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such an odd season for songwriting, too. As we go through the winter, it's like things can be bleak. A lot of songs can be sad. The holiday season has a whole lot of uninterpretable feelings until one of them screams in your ear, and you're like, okay, I got to let you out,
Right, yeah.
What was the most recent time you sat down and really had something?
Wrote a song. I think it was before Christmas.
Did you go home for Christmas?
Yeah. I did go. I know. I came up with it now. Sorry, it just hit me. Went home back to Virginia for Christmas. And I actually just recently wrote a song. It was, it's not finished yet though. So it's like I have like the body there.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things I got to go back with a fine-tooth comb and really like get it to where I want it type of thing. So
I always prefer where I can get start to finish, nothing needs to be right about it. But if I can go start to finish, then it's like, oh, I feel like I accomplished something here. Versus every unfinished voice memo on my phone will never get listened to.
There's a lot of those for me.
Yeah, they're fucking awful, you know? And it's just like, I don't know that inspiration right now. I can't go digging for it again. Like, sometimes you can listen to it over and over again and kind of get back in that groove, but it's like the moment's passed.
Yeah.
You know? And it's difficult to reinterpret what that was.
Right. Yeah, and I think, too, to some extent, though, I have a lot of songs that I wrote, you know, a verse or maybe even a chorus, you know, alone, and that I've never gone back to, right? Because you're like, I'm done. But then I think there's a lot of songs that I wrote, I couldn't push anymore because I didn't know where I was going. And then I come back, you know, the next day or in the next week, and all of a sudden I found it. Like, I have one that it took me freaking months to get the bridge right, and I just was about to give up on it. I was like, the song's so stupid. Like, I want nothing to do with it anymore. And I finally got the bridge, and I was like, this is it, right? And it actually made it special again to me, and made me confident in it. And yeah, so there's definitely a balance to that, though, because I have countless voice memos, countless notes, countless shit that I will never look at again.
and it's good to let them go when they need to be let go, but it's way funnier when one is like an aggressive part of your life. Like, I can't fucking believe you wouldn't tell me what you needed for this bridge. I have a super bad habit of, like, if I do some late night writing, I always got to get first verse, chorus, second verse, and then I'm like, oh, you can be done for the night. Don't worry about it. And then I never put a goddamn bridge on the song. And then months later, I'm like, I really wish this shit had a bridge. and for some reason, it's hard to, especially with something like a bridge where it's like, this is the other side of the coin.
Right.
And I needed to flip it when this happened, or else I just won't understand what that is. Do you play unfinished songs during your set ever?
No.
Okay. No. It has to be, like, refined.
I mean, yeah, I want it to be, like, you know, something worth playing. I'll play a song fresh out the book. Yeah. And just try it out. But it's definitely something that I've gone start to finish and at least have some semblance of, like, what it might be in the end.
Yeah. If there's less than 10 people in a room, I'll tell them it's like, you're about to see some undercooked shit. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to run this verse for you 4 times because there's no other verses. Right. There's nothing else to give you. So we're just going to keep running it.
Right.
Did you get a loop pedal? We talked about that.
I did. I haven't. I haven't set it up yet, though. I haven't had time.
It's still in the box?
No, it's out of the box.
Okay, thank God. I would have thrown shit at you.
Sitting on my desk. I haven't hooked it up yet.
But it's such a great freedom. It's like having the most patient partner you could ever ask for.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
No, you will do wonderful things with that. And it's so much fun. It is such a great way to delegate things and just be able to sit back and kind of live in the song for a little bit. Because you're so actively participating in it most of the time. It's like you never get an opportunity to do just one or the other.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
When did you and Ryan meet?
Jonah.
No, Ryan, your guitar player.
Scott?
Doesn't he play at Fishbowl on occasional Mondays?
Red Leprechaun.
God damn it. Tell me this guy's name.
Scott Whitty.
Scott Whitty? Why the fuck do I think his name's Ryan? Are you lying to me?
I mean, no.
God, this is going to piss me off. What am I thinking of? I told you I haven't tried crack, but now I'm thinking about it. Oh, there's a nice picture of Drew Freeland on the front page of the sweet red leprechaun. No, that's not who I wanted to see. Okay, never mind. Scott Whitty. Okay.
So I was a co-op at Ethicon, so interning. And I was here in Cincinnati in summer of 2019. We first met. We were on the same team. Yeah. And then COVID hit. So I went back to the same company and interned again, but this time as virtual.
Nice.
Because I was back in Virginia, and I had my computer, right, and I was cleaning my room. So my guitar was up behind me in the Zoom call, and he was like, what's that? Right? And immediately it just kind of went from there. And I was co-oping at the time, so I didn't have a full-time job. And he was like, if you get a full-time job, we need to talk about that more. And then I did get the full-time job, but for the whole first year, I was traveling to Columbus to go to a supplier that had one of our manufacturing lines up there. So I was literally not in Cincinnati. And towards the end of that rotation, I was like, Scott, Like, I'm ready. Like, I haven't picked up a guitar, but I really want to, like, play. And he's like, join me for some gigs. I've been looking for a gig partner. And he, like, took me on, you know, and let me play some songs and play more and more. And then finally I got to a point where I was like, okay, I think I'm ready for my own gig. And that's actually when we met. I was going to scope out, like, the Oak for my first gig.
Nice.
Yeah, he had messaged me back, and I was really excited, but I was like, oh gosh, who else plays there? Like, I need to figure out what I need to bring, how many songs I need to play, like, what the vibe is. And so then it's just kind of gone from there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel very grateful that I can't remember exactly when we met. It might be a year and a half ago at this point. It might be 2 years. Might be less than that. I'm really bad with the concept of time.
I think it's a year.
Just about a year?
Yeah, I think.
Bro, you've grown so much in a year. You can really kick the door in a year.
Yeah.
It's an odd thing to, especially in someone's personal songs. It's like watching someone change their aura of their confidence of how they deliver things from, you know, this is me giving you what I got to give, to, oh, wait till you see what I got to give.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I put you in an uncomfortable situation on the last Muse with Sappha, because like, Sappha comes in with these fully produced tracks, sounds fucking fantastic.
She's amazing.
She's a goddess. She does her thing. That's exactly what she would describe it as. She's a straight
a goddess. Yes.
Yeah, she came on here and she was like, I like to think of myself as a god. And I'm like, damn, sister.
That is so awesome.
I'm like, that's super pimp. You know, it scared the shit out of me. I'm Catholic, you know. Not the best Catholic, but I'm Catholic. But she's just like, she's got such a wonderful aura about what she does, and she carries such a presence with her. But putting you two in that round together, it really just showed how much you've accomplished in such a short period of time. Because compared to someone with full tracks where everything is going to go off on a hitch, regardless how she does it, you stepped up with an acoustic and knocked people's fucking faces off. You know, you sounded great. And people love to see that kind of contrast in a show.
Yeah.
You know, and she really enjoyed it as well. And everyone in the audience. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you never know what differences matter and don't matter in those kind of settings.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's just songs with songs. And there was so much to be enjoyed that night that I was just, I was giddy as fuck. I was so thrilled with it.
It was an awesome songwriters night.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So do you feel like in this next year you're going to approach full band stuff in your live performance or just in the studio?
So I did a full band in Roanoke in December. I do a Christmas gig every year with the guy from Styx.
Nice.
With the bluegrass musician that I grew up playing with, and then my brother-in-law is a professional drummer.
Cool.
So it was really fun. We do this gig we're making it a yearly thing. This is the second year of it, and
what's the name of the club?
We called ourselves Free and the Freebirds.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Drew.
Yeah. That was courtesy of Chris Burton if he ever sees this clip.
You troll. You fucking troll. What's the name of the club?
Oh, Parkway Brewery.
No, I'm so grateful that's what you told me. Free Freeland and the Freebirds.
Just Free and the Freebirds.
Just free. God, it has to double dip like that.
We're just going to play.
Oh, you deserve to be Skinner, Leonard. You know what I'm saying? That is bad.
We do. It is bad.
But that's the joy of having.
But it makes me laugh every time I say it. So
I'm sure it does. It's way too deep of a meme, and unfortunately, now you're going to be stuck with it the rest of your life.
I know.
But that's the benefit of having bands too.
Yeah.
It's like the ideas that people kick you are somewhere between like pure genius and just like the worst thing you've ever heard, and you just run with it regardless. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think those are gonna be the people that you want to have play on the records, or are you kind of open to that?
So I've started having Scott and Nick Meehan, because we work together. Yeah. And I recorded for the first time in a studio last Saturday. So that was super cool. I put 3 songs down. Demoed 2 of them. I think one of them's probably pretty close because it doesn't need that much more. And it was really cool to hear like an electric guitar and drums and them come to life.
What studio did you go to?
I did it with one of Nick's buddies that he grew up with. His name's also Nick.
Yeah, is it the fella in Reading somewhere?
Yes.
Is it Nick?
Nick Hartigan.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Is he the bass player?
Yes.
In Nick Meehan's other project?
Yes.
Cool. That other project of his bangs, but all those guys are so damn busy.
I know, that's what he was saying.
Well, and Nick Meehan's got those beautiful kids of his, and it's just like, oh, dude, you are busy.
And just had a brand new baby, too.
Baby. Yeah. My whole band's having new babies. I'm like, I'm never going to see you motherfuckers. God. I'm still years away from having children, so at this point, it's just a pain in my ass.
Oh, shit.
No, I love them. I love all the band kids. But it is funny, like the new constraints of seeing my friends. It's like, can your mother watch the kids while we rehearse or while we record? And it's like, I'll ask. Yeah, that sounds neat. My mom does love that when all these guys bring over their children. Oh yeah, it's one of the many benefits of working in my parents' basement. is band mom Mary Carol Schneider. God bless. But that's awesome. So as you've taken this step to start to include them in these parts of the process, do you feel like your songwriting mindset now goes straight to that, or is it kind of not involved in the process initially?
I definitely think when I just go to write a song, like, fresh, that's not really in my mind.
Yeah.
But I definitely think through this experience of getting these songs where I want them with other instruments and accompaniment, I'll start to hear some of that.
Very nice.
Which will be really cool, yeah.
Yeah, and I think everyone that's been listening to the EP will be excited to see this other side of it where it's like, oh, it's got more scenery in general, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, speaking so much of it, would you mind playing us a ditty?
Sure,
cool.
Yeah,
grab
no
it.
problem.
I don't know why that thing is so damn noisy, but whatever.
That's all right.
I grabbed a different guitar earlier for that reason, and for some reason I still grabbed that one.
Oh, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's plugged in. It's just that noisy.
All right.
Do you have a pick? Do you need one?
No, I'm all good.
Do you play without a pick?
No, just this one song.
Okay. Yeah. I was about to be so appalled.
No, I'm a big pick girl.
I'm a picking girl.
Yeah.
And what are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play Wanderin'.
Cool.
Yeah. Short and sweet.
My friend, I'm going to be rude. I'm going to switch that guitar. That's driving me nuts.
That's okay.
I need to hear more of it. God.
That's okay. It's all good.
I'm in pain.
You're fine.
Do me a favor. Keep that capo.
Okay.
I'll switch you this guy. The internet will never forgive me if I ruined your beautiful song with this guitar that's now having pickup issues. What the hell did I do?
Do I leave this thing on it?
Just leave that thing up there. It has a lot of issues, so I prefer not to ask people to mess with it.
Perfect.
What happened with those is it's stripped on the back, so yeah, like the screw up to a certain point, like the rungs of the screw have stripped, so you have to like really force it to get to work. So I just tell people not to worry about it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. Oh shit.
No, you're fine.
Sorry.
Now we're ready for it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. I met you on the edge of the desert. Midnight dangerous look in your eye. All the dust seemed to settle for a moment. Even the road runner stopped running for a while. All these warnings from my mama started playing in my head. She said, no cowboys, they'll leave you high and dry. The sun was hot and need too stubborn, with a great need for water, but none for advice. ranges. Everything's so new. Adventure in every kiss. We camp between the canyons while mysterious clouds played movies in the sky. Adventure lurked in every corner. The West doesn't need permission to be wild. Then one day came the morning. Gone was any trace of our campfire. Should've known, I could've saw, I would've stopped, but I didn't. Just like you didn't say goodbye. Wandering with you through sandstorms and mountain ranges. I wish I knew that wandering was all you did. That wandering was all you did.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
I love the line about the clouds playing movies. Tell me that line exactly. You can just unplug that guitar and just lean it up against anything over there. She'll be fine.
Okay.
Also, you had an iconic sniff in the middle of that.
I have a really bad cold.
I've been dying all week with one, so no worries. Yeah, I got the shit kicked out of me with the cold.
Just trying to keep moving.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Just stay lively with it.
Yeah.
Drink enough emergency to take somebody
and
down.
Water. Yeah.
No, I don't believe in water. Straight emergency, like a pixie stick. Okay. You gotta huff it dry if you want it to work. It's bad advice, but I'll take it. Why the fuck not? Well, I hope you get better quick, my friend.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. How much you get playing this week?
I got a gig tomorrow night and Saturday. Fishbowl for the first time.
Fishbowl.
I've never played fishbowl, so
Very
I'm
nice.
excited. Yeah.
When did you start playing there exactly?
I haven't yet.
No, like Red Leprechaun.
Oh, right when they opened.
Nice.
Scott lives like his apartment literally is above it.
Very
essentially.
Nice. Okay, one of those.
And yeah, he's one of those. Yeah, he's one of those. Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, this new pub's opening up," because I don't know very many people in Cincinnati, right? So I reach out to like a lot of places, and it goes radio silent, which is okay.
It's tough.
Yeah, and so when I get like a response or have a good opportunity to like sneak into a place and get a chance to play there, it's always awesome. So
yeah, well, and you always crush, and people are going to continually give you those opportunities, but it is tough when you're in a new city trying to do that kind of thing.
Absolutely. But it comes with the territory, so.
Are you in Cincinnati long term, you think, or are you planning on going back to Virginia at some point?
I love Virginia.
Don't you fucking leave us.
I love Cincinnati, though. I'll say that. I think it's the perfect size city. There's so much to do. You can make it feel big. You can make it feel small. You can be in a suburb, or you can go down and see the Bengals. Like, that's...
And you're far enough away from them goddamn politicians. Is Jonah from Cincinnati?
Jonah's from Roanoke as well.
Fuck.
So Roanoke is like Southwest Virginia. Yeah.
We have no hope.
Yeah, but we'll be here, I think, at least another couple years for sure.
Okay.
He's starting a job in summer, so...
In Cincy, or where at?
In Cincy. In Cincy. What?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
With the cold, it sounds way funnier. It's like, well, I'm glad to hear it. Whatever keeps y'all here the longest, we're happy about. But
well, thanks. Yeah.
Damn it, I was hoping he was a local boy, and then he'd give us some hope about keeping you, but we're fucked.
But we'll be here a while, I think.
Okay. It's just gonna break our heart when you leave, but I'll make you feel guilty about that when it matters. I'll wait for
As
the right.
You should.
Yeah, exactly. Well, are there any big plans for 2024 in terms of music?
I I think just continuing to grow. I'm going to release something at the end of this year. I don't know what it looks like, but for sure I'm building something. Like my first experience in the studio, I'm trying to balance like, cost versus like what I actually want to see out of it, right? Yes. So just, taking it, learning and just as I go, figuring out what's next. It'll be something. I don't know.
And between those two experiences, have you thought about doing any of your own recording, like getting an interface and a microphone?
Yes. I saw his setup and I was like, God, if I had enough money, it'd be like so cool to like put together your own studio, kind of like you have. I think that's what you're meaning.
Yeah, exactly. Just to have your own space to be able to.
I would love that.
Because it helps your costs so much, but also anytime you venture into someone else's thing, you gain a new appreciation for what they do. It's like you don't know how good a drummer is till you've sat down and really fucked it up on there, or your guitar players, or something like recording where just to do your guitar and your vocals on your own like that, you'll save infinite amounts of cash because you won't have to be on someone else's time to get the perfect take.
Right.
And you won't get the perfect take for the first year of doing it, but you'll enjoy that experience. And if you're in the Mac world, if you're on that Apple teat, okay, if you're in the ecosystem and you can't get away, they'll make it easy on you. GarageBand's the shit,
Cool. Yeah.
Are you in the Apple world?
Like
you got an iPhone and you do
I got an iPhone. I don't have a Mac.
Okay.
I'm a big like HP
girl.
That's
Nerd.
definitely the engineer in me.
The same stuff works. So.
Yeah. So
nerd. Always out here modifying around. You got to get solder to the motherboard like us. Listen, okay, I pay for a really refined little box here.
Yeah.
No, it sucks being in the Mac world because like you really can't venture out without getting super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And everyone at the store is like, you're gonna get a virus. It's like only if you do illicit shit with your laptop. You can do okay with this kind of thing.
Right.
What's the main program you have to use for like engineering stuff?
Ooh.
This may be way over my head, but
so for like CAD type of stuff, we use NX. I don't know if you've ever heard of NX.
No, but I've heard of CAD.
I don't do that much CAD.
I thought CAD was the program. I'm a doofus. So
no, but that's okay.
but still, it's like it's hilarious when you think you have some understanding. Like I love bullshitting with people as if I know what I'm talking about. Like my wife's family is mainly architects, so I'm like, no, you getting on
really
that CAD
cool.
design? They are crazy.
That's so dope.
Her dad's company mainly builds like banks and things like that, and they kind of specialize in that category. But her brother builds like the most luxury of luxury homes. He works for a company that does like billionaires' homes and out west, and
that is so cool.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Such a weird lifestyle to live, and I'm like, that's pretty neat, bro.
Yeah.
So NX.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
I thought CAD was like it's almost like a 3D design kind of program. Okay.
Yep.
So now I'm really confused. So you're punching in numbers and whatnot and trying to make sure that like points of failure and whatnot, or like.
So that's like FEA, finite element analysis. So yeah.
Give me the acronyms.
Oh God, Ethicon's a big acronym place. It's actually an issue, but engineering world is in general like somebody that I work with was saying that it's just ridiculous. It's acronyms for no reason, like acronyms that have acronyms. But
that's deep. That's deep and dumb. That's D&D.
Deep and dumb. But yeah, so like typically in like a CAD, you can model apart like a component that goes in an assembly, and then NX is also a software that will allow you to assemble it, so you can constrain it in different places, and basically you'll have rules to allow it to rotate certain ways, or stick it to certain faces, stuff like that.
Cool.
Don't know if I'm explaining that well, but
somewhat. I mean, I'm a doofus, but we're getting there.
Me too.
So like you see are you building the assembly lines? Or are you building what the assembly line will produce?
So what I do is I've done a little bit of both. I've been on R&D for a new product. So we had like a new product that I worked primarily on the manufacturing side of it. So how are we going to build it? How are we going to put it together?
Cool.
And that's what I was doing up in Columbus for a year. And then what happens is we ship our lines to Juarez, right? And then labor's cheap.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of manual processes because it's low volume of product.
Interesting.
Because medical devices, you don't make that many of a year. Like a diaper, for example, which you're going to highly automate. You mean there's so many diapers in the store, right? People use diapers every day.
But for like really specialized medical equipment, it's like we don't want to be stuck with a lot of inventory when we come up with the next model of this.
Right. And you only want to invest in your process, what makes sense in the long term.
Yeah.
So.
Is this going to be like one of those things that's big in 3D printing in 20 years?
Maybe. We do a lot of 3D printing to like help us develop fixtures and even with like the device, if you're just trying something out, we 3D print a lot of stuff, just cheap 3D printing, cheap, quick.
Yeah.
To try to just look at what you're doing, see if you need to change stuff here and there and,
Have you ever seen a guitar swing?
No.
So a guitar swing is like for a huge act that plays a lot of electric guitar, then they have an acoustic that just sits on a little stand, and it's like at the perfect playing height. So you walk up, your other guitar's hanging, and they just walk away from it. It's always set up, but you don't put a strap on and do that whole thing.
That's cool.
I want to 3D print 2 giant hands to hold this up, and I walk up between the little palms. That'd be some dumb, weird shit.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
There's an awesome video. Prince is my number one in every aspect of music.
Okay.
And there's hilarious videos where like Prince will want to go without his guitar for a second. So a beautiful woman will walk out from backstage. He'll hand her the guitar, and she'll just stand there and hold it until he comes back, and then she'll hand it back to him. Like, that's the most Prince thing ever. That is absurd. And like, she looks happy as can be. Like, this is a dream gig. Like, what
She's
do you
handing the guitar to Prince.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
come on.
What do you do? Like, I am Prince's guitar stand. I am trusted with the utmost importance. It's like, but just walk up between the hands of God that look like giant Lego hands and just play a little acoustic.
Yeah.
That'd be some weird shit.
Yeah.
Probably hard to transport. You got any dumb dreams with 3D printing items?
Not off the top of my head.
That's a great question to start asking friends. What do you really want to 3D print?
What's your dream 3D print?
Let me think of some other options. I like a mailbox that looks like a baseball, so when neighborhood kids come through with a baseball bat on a truck and they go to smack that thing, they're shocked to find out that this is incredibly on point. But on the inside, it's metal, so it breaks their hands.
Oh,
this is a bad
that's
idea.
A little dark.
Okay, understood. My bad. Shouldn't have gone there. Okay, let's come up with one more 3D print, and then we'll call this a day. God. No, I'm fucking with you. I'll shoot you stupid messages about these ideas.
Okay.
These are the things that haunt my dumb ass.
Thank you.
Well, within the next year, do you think you're going to be doing anything to promote the EP in addition? Like, did you want to do an EP release party or anything like that?
I've thought about it. I think... potentially. I think when I release my next project, I'll do something like that. Time is money, right? Yeah. Like, I'm trying to balance putting enough effort into all the different facets. I'm trying, it's like the little, you're pushing all these little cars forward.
Yes.
You do it all the time, right? You balance so many different things from, just as a musician, but you have this podcast and you have just all these little things, the musician nights, the marketing that you do for yourself, the recording you do in your studio down the hall.
Yeah, all your own booking, also getting ready for your gigs.
You're pushing your little cars, right? Like,
amen to that.
Yeah, and so I think I want to, but also I think my primary focus right now is just like learning and just continuing to get better. Guitar for sure is something that I want to continue to like grow in and get better at. I'm a good rhythm guitarist.
Yeah.
That's about it right now.
Well, once you get that looper involved, it's going to open up things a lot.
Yeah. So I'm excited. So that's what, like, this year I'm going to loop. I'm going to learn to loop. Cool. I got to put the time in to do it. And
I will start screaming at you as a friend about it.
Yes.
So, at the next songwriter night, I would like to see that.
You told me. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I've loved watching everything that you brought to the table, and I think you just continually are kicking ass and taking names. So, in our songwriting community, any way that we can all better serve each other is a text away. So thanks for all you've shared with me, and I hope that we continue to do the same.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything you want to promote on the way out? Where they can follow you?
Yeah.
The name of the EP? All that?
Yeah, the name of the EP is On This Mountain, First Cuts.
Cool.
It literally is First Cuts.
First Cuts.
First Cuts. It's 7 songs, all acoustic, and just me, vocally. And you can find me on Instagram on.
What's your handle?
Drew_Freeland 5.
Cool.
Instagram mainly is where I operate, but I dabble in Facebook. Don't ask me what my Facebook information is.
Nice.
I don't know.
Nice.
But then...
Where can someone follow Free and the Freebirds?
Unfortunately, we're not on social media yet.
Yeah, spare us until you got Leonard's getting your pair. Jesus.
Jesus is right. We need
change it for this year, I'm telling you. Or else, guess what people are going to be asking for? It's not your songs, okay? You're going to be freeing that bird all fucking night.
God, no.
All right, Drew, you are a straight pimp. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Friends, thanks for watching. As always, make sure you follow Drew. Peace.